Want to show a couple more techniques with Distress Oxides, and these techniques can be used with regular dye ink as well, but I want to show you a little bit, I can show you a little bit the results from each. They're going to be just slightly different. So the technique I'm going to teach today is smooshing, and then I'm also going to teach how to use your inks to color in an image. So first, let's start with the smooshing. For that, you just need a piece of plastic. You can use a plastic baggie, a piece of acetate. I have a leftover package from some foam tape. Like, it really can just be anything. And I'm going to start by putting that on my hand. I'm using peacock feathers and spiced marmalade Distress Oxides today to demonstrate this. So you're just going to tap into that. So I have some ink on there. You can see how vivid and bright and thick that ink is. And then I'm just going to come in with my spray bottle and give it a little spritz. And then I'm going to use my fingers inside that bag to mix it up, okay? And every time you do this is going to be a different look. So then I'm just going to turn it around. You can put your fingers together. You can leave your hand flat, however you choose to do it. And you're just going to smoosh that right onto your paper. And it's going to kind of give you just the kind of random watercolory effect. So it's just kind of a fun background technique there. And then if you want to layer colors, you would come in with a craft heater or a blow dryer and make sure that's completely dry. And then you could do it either in the same color or a different color. I have an example of a different color. So this one is the Distress Oxides. I did the orange, the spiced marmalade first, and then I dried that with my craft heater, and then I came back over it with a peacock feather. So it's just kind of a fun organic look, I guess you could say. Now you can do this technique with dye, just regular dye inks, and it works. And it looks pretty neat too, but I just kind of wanted to show you the difference. I don't know if you can see the difference in how much more vivid the Distress Oxide is and how much more that color really sits on top rather than kind of mixing together. So that's kind of the difference there. The other technique that I want to show you today is using your inks to color. And again, you can use dye ink or you can use Distress Oxide inks to do this. It's just kind of fun. So I have my water brush, paintbrush, and then I just have my Distress Oxide inks on my all-purpose mat. And I'm just going to put a little bit of color onto my mat. And then I'm going to come in with my water brush. I have a paper towel handy for dabbing off excess water. And I'm just going to squeeze some water out. This one is the medium round water brush. I'll be sure to link this in the video. So I squeezed some water out and got my brush wet and trying to clean it off. Okay, and I'm just going to dip into that color, and then I can go right here on my stamped image. This image is from, it's called the Stitched Florals. This is in our core catalog. And then I'm just going to bring that in here and I can color. And I stamped this image with intense black ink. And when you use that, it does not run. You do want to give it some dry time. Another thing I will mention, I'm just using regular cardstock here, so it will probably wrinkle just a little bit. It's not bad. But if that is a concern for you, I would recommend using watercolor cardstock. But that's all there is to it. You just kind of can dip in there, and then you can easily color in your images without pencils or markers. You can even come back in. I'm dabbing some water off, and I'm getting a little more color, and I can add some depth of color at the bottom to give it more of a varying color look to get those shadows and stuff from the light. So just a really simple way to color in your images, and fast. It really doesn't take that long to color these, and it's fun. It's a different way to use your inks, so makes them a little more multi-purpose for you. So those are the two techniques. I wanted now to show you some examples of where I've used these techniques in some artwork. I'm going to bring in a layout here. This was from our Close to My Heart album retreat where they taught this smooshing technique, so I've used that here and here. So you can see how kind of it makes a fun background. And then I've also used that technique in these cards here. So this one I've colored with the Distress Oxides, and then I've used the Distress Oxide smooshing technique on that background in that one. And again, this one is the smooshing technique here, and these flowers I actually colored with my tri-blend markers, and those are fantastic as well. And then just one more showing that smooshing technique. So I hope you get to try that technique out, and I hope you have fun playing with it.